Welcome back to SendCutSend Community College. This is our office hours session where we answer your questions and break them down in a clear and simple way. And the first one, we're going to answer the question, what if I don't want to start on the original origin plane? So grab your notes and let's get into it. Now this is a great question. I often actually use construction planes to manipulate that original setting based on what I'm actually wanting to do in the future. Now, what do I actually mean by that? A lot of times, those origin planes are 90 degrees to each other, right? So they're perpendicular, just like the wall of this room and the floor. We talked about that in lesson 1.3. Now, with this though, maybe I want to have something at 45 degrees to the wall in which I want to start drawing on. I can do that based off of a construction plane. So let's go into CAD here. We have that original origin plane set up down here as well as the axes. If I come up to construction, up in the ribbon, we can drop this menu down. We have a ton of different options. We're going to select the second one here, plane at angle. And I can select pretty much any of these axes. Let's just select this one. The first thing that pops up is a new plane that is 0 degrees. But like I said, maybe I want it to be 45 degrees. Let's go ahead and type that in there. And now I have this angled plane just like I wanted. I can type in negative if I want to flip that direction as well. So depending on which orientation we want, we can manipulate that to match what we want. Once I hit that, we end up having that new plane. We can come over here, we see construction. If I drop down this menu, we have plane here. You can name these planes, right? So we can say angled plane here. This helps you later on if you're going to manipulate using these planes. Having that named is going to be a little bit cleaner. Now we could go ahead and create a sketch. If we sketch on this plane, selecting that plane, and if I draw, we'll say a circle here, just to kind of show it in 3D space, clicking finished, we now have that angled circle in there. Now, another thing that I often do is have an offset construction plane off of the original origins because I want my entire assembly later on to be mirrored across the origin. So I want everything to be symmetric across it. So if you draw on the original plane and then offset something to mirror it over, everything's going to be staggered off of the original origin. With that, I end up doing this actually in the capstone project if you get all the way through chapter 5, but let's go ahead and show it here as well. Back in CAD, we're going to go to construction, and we're going to choose offset plane. This is the very first one that we have here. If I select this plane here, we can offset it. We can drag or drop, right? And so we can kind of just drag it over, or we can type in an actual dimension. Let's just say 1, right? So this ends up putting in a plane way off to the side over here. Again, I have a new plane underneath construction that I can sketch on. Now, what do I actually mean by mirroring is that if I draw on that plane over there, we have that weird orientation. We can see the origin is projected over. I can draw, let's say, a larger circle over here. Let's put a dimension to it on this one, 0.5, and click Finish Sketch. If I put a body to it, an extrusion, just to have some weight to it, I can now mirror this body across this plane. Now this is a little bit more technical for chapter 1 here, but if you end up getting a little bit further along, you're going to end up seeing what I'm talking about. We're going to go to Create, we're going to go to Mirror, and we're going to click on this body and mirror it across the original origin plane. You see that body come up here. Now this essentially allows me to have symmetry between these two bodies. If I didn't do that, then I would have everything shifted over. So just a different way to manipulate it. Now, this was a great question. If you want to get your questions answered, go to the comment section of those videos and post your questions there. That's it for this office hours. We'll see you on the next one.